Good evening. Ooh, that's loud. Is that reverberating too loud, or?
It is.
Sounds, well.
And can we adjust the mics here?
I'll whisper.
I'll see if I can adjust the mics there.
Okay. Welcome to the December 1st, 2021 DDB board meeting. It helps, I'll be back this way. I ask that everyone silence their phones and cease private conversations. Remind members to lean forward, well, maybe not today, and speak clearly. I'd like to start the introductions of members and ex officio members. Down on my left.
Ray Casano.
Shahab Amrani.
Keenan Kinsel.
Terry Nowitzki.
Caitlin Jammo.
Mark Bunker.
Thank you. First order of business here seems to be the September minutes. Any corrections? Then I'll request a motion.
Motion to approve November 3rd, 2021 minutes.
Second.
Second. Caitlin requests the motion to approve, and Tiffany seconds.
Terry.
Any discussion?
No, sir.
Call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Technical challenges. Next is citizens to be heard regarding items not on the agenda. Before we start, here's the rules. Comments must be limited to matters relevant to the DDB district. Comments on the items on the agenda must be held until the agenda item is called. And please, if you're speaking, identify yourself clearly for the record. And you have 3 minutes, which shall be enforced. Anybody?
Sorry, just before you start, I've tried to adjust it here, and Eric's calling public comms to see what's going on with the sound.
No problem.
Shall I begin? Hi everybody, I'm Aaron Smith-Levin. I live at 1615 Harvard Street. So last week the Tampa Bay Times reported on an issue that concerns members of this board. The Times reported on yet another round of property purchases, this time in the Seminole Boat Ramp area. All of the acquisitions were all cash deals done through anonymous LLCs, all for way over market value. What makes the purchases so strange is that after the acquisitions go through, there is no subsequent effort to develop or improve or occupy the properties. And also, to the best of my knowledge, the city has been completely unable to reach the owners of the properties to get any information about what the plans are for these properties.
Excuse me 1 second. Are those properties in the district?
I'm getting there. To an outsider, this looks very much like an effort to sabotage Clearwater's redevelopment efforts. All of these recent purchases, or almost all of them, were done with the involvement of DDB board member Terry Nowitzki, her husband Norm Nowitzki, and attorney Stephen Hayes. The pattern and the nature of these acquisitions is identical to the over 100 acquisitions that were made right in the DDB's district over the last several years. 2 additional DDB board members were involved in those acquisitions, Ray Casano and Shahab Amrani. Now, it has been widely assumed that David Miscavige and Scientology have been behind this coordinated effort, but David denies any involvement. I believe, in fact, this week, David even met with the mayor and continued to deny any involvement. Well, if Dave denies being involved, then that means he's putting responsibility for this behavior squarely on the shoulders of the public Scientologists involved. Which brings me to my point. The DDB is an elected board and its members occupy seats of public trust. This board is supposed to be working in the best interests of the DDB district. The behavior of these 3 board members completely contradicts and undermines the very purpose of the DDB. I think anyone and everyone who lives, works, or plays in the DDB district would be justified in asking, how can the public have trust in this board when 3 of its members appear to be part of a coordinated effort to undermine Clearwater's redevelopment efforts? And what, if anything, are the other members of this board prepared to do about it? Thank you.
What's his name?
Okay, any other speakers? Good, moving on, new business. 4.1, the October 2021 financial statement for filing, and
Good evening, Ann Lopez, CRA Program Specialist. Before you, you have a request for approval of the October 2021 financial statement for filing. Your expenditures are listed in your agenda item. In October, there were $8,019 spent, and your ending balance was $950,127. One thing that we are doing new in your agenda item is we are listing you a balance of your budget. So you will see, as of the date that we created this agenda item, which was November 22nd, that the DDB has allocated $118,300 of your marketing line budget, with a remaining balance of $131,700. Of your business assistance line budget, you've allocated $0. You have a remaining balance of $200,000. And of your policy and project work line budget, you've allocated $0 and your remaining balance is $32. This will help you move as we move forward with funding requests, so you guys have an idea of how much is actually left in those specific budget line items.
Thank you.
Any questions?
board questions? No? Citizen
clear.
comment?
Very clear, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Trying to make things easy.
We like that. Citizen comments? I request a motion to approve the October 2021 financial statement for filing.
I move to approve the October 2021 financial statement for filing.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Shahab and a second from Ray. Any board discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. I'm going to need help, Amanda, with this word. 4.2, Intercultural Advocacy Institute funding request for holiday event.
You got it.
Thank you. Howard.
Good evening, Board. Howard Smith, Business Assistant Administrator for the Community Redevelopment Agency. The purpose of this grant is to request approval of funding for the Intercultural Advocacy Institute, doing business as the Hispanic Outreach Center, for their holiday event in the amount of $4,655.75. On November 22nd, the board was provided an email that provided the funding requests for this, in addition to an operational budget, as well as an addendum for a description for the project. The project is due to take place, the event is due to take place in Station Square Park on September 9th from the hours of 3:30 in the afternoon to 8:30 p.m., as this event is also open to the public. With that, the funding request will be used to support operational and marketing costs for the event. Staff recommends funding the HLC holiday event, as the grant request does align with the DDB work plan for 2021 to fund the production of marketing various special events throughout the DDB district, as well as activating Station Square Park. Pending approval by the board, the HLC will complete a funding agreement that will outline their requirements as well as the requirements of HLC as far as their funding requests. Funds for the grants are available in the marketing category line item budget, and per the DDB's funding policy, the request of $4,655.75 is below the $75,000, which is 30% of the DDB $250,000 marketing budget. And tonight from the HOC, I have their family advocacy counselor, Vicky Abondo. So if you have any specific questions regarding the grant request, she will be here to provide you a response for them. Vicky?
Good afternoon.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us tonight. So as Howard mentioned, this is a nice program. Every year during the Christmas time, we normally do this event for the kids. Take the photo with Santa is something that they love to have, and sadly, due to COVID, we couldn't have it this event last year. So we're planning to make this event this year, but sadly, again, we're still having COVID, and our location is small. And we're planning to do in the Station Square, which is an ideal place for us to share with the kids, bring the community, and because it's going to be an open community event, we prefer to have a nice big place, have the Christmas with music, with Santa, have food, and all the marketing that is involved. And all these costs raise up until the cost that Howard mentioned before. So we're planning to have a nice Christmas for the kids from the community of Clearwater, and you're part of that. So we hope to have an approval.
Excellent. Any questions for the ladies?
Yes, I do. I think you had one last year also,
No, we couldn't
or it
have.
was the year before. If I'm recalling, it was planned to be at the Station Square and then it got
No,
moved somewhere? No, am I mixing something else?
I'm sorry. We always have in our location, which is a closed place, and we also have the yearly fair. So we mix these two programs in order to have more Christmas spirit. So this time, because we have a closed location, we cannot put too many people inside. So that's why Station Square is an ideal place.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else?
I have a question, and actually it's probably best addressed to Elise. If a group like the Intercultural Advocacy Institute came to the DDB asking for money for an event, with the non-discrimination clause, if Scientology approached a group like that and said, we want to sponsor the event and we'd love to put up a booth for the Way to Happiness or the anti-drug programs, anything like that, would they be able to say, well, thank you so much, but we'd rather not have a Scientology booth at the event?
If they're not asking for, should I come up here?
Yes.
All right.
And I want to clarify, you're talking about in the grant agreement that they would sign, so
Yeah, apparently there's some non-discrimination clause in the grant agreement, and just want to make sure that they get the money even if they say, I'd rather not
Unless
have
they're opening it up to booths from people outside, it's not an issue. They're only having booths for people that are part of their organization. They're selling their jewelry, if I remember correctly, and to support their organization. They're not asking for outside booths. If somebody is advertising to the general public for outside booths, we don't want them discriminating on any of the things that the feds don't want them discriminating on. Okay? And that's what our agreement means. If you opened it up and say, we're selling space, you've opened it up. But if you're just putting it in your organization, no, you haven't opened it up.
All right. So if a religious organization is having an event that is sponsored in part by the DDB and the Satanic...
Or the city, actually. The city has the same language. City has the same language.
And the Satanic Temple said, we want to have a booth up here.
Well, if they've opened it up to other groups, then, as long as it is... they are not doing something outside of what the organization is, as long as they're following the rules of the organization. By city, state, federal, and our agreement, you can't discriminate.
Is that part of this, Amanda?
But no, this group is, they're having an event that involves their own members. The public is welcome to come, and they're not going to say, what religion are you and what color are you before you come in. The public, it's open to the public, but the booths and the displays are all by members of your organization.
Yes, it's a program.
So
it's
it's a moot issue. It doesn't matter. Open it up to everybody, and you have guidelines that are not discriminatory guidelines, then you've opened it up to everybody
Which the CRA
by law.
The CRA would follow those guidelines.
But CRA has the same language
they
in
would
theirs.
make sure
The city has
guidelines
the
are
same
followed.
language in theirs.
Fine.
We stole it from them, right?
Okay, we plagiarized blatantly, so I know they have the same language,
It is embedded.
all right?
So if there's an example for a farmer's market, right, if there is a farmer's market that does not have an established program, like we're part of the 4-H club, right, or we're the Rotary and we have a farmer's market and you have to be a Rotary member to show at this market, right? But if you're a farmer's market and you sell for $75, you can put up a tent and be a part of this farmer's market unless they have regulations around it, like you need to sell food, right, or crafts or something like that.
You can limit the types of products.
Right. But if they aren't, and it's open to anyone to say, I would like to pay $75 to have a tent.
But try to get into one of those art shows that have specific rules, and you'll find out that, product matters. So that's where you come, but you can't say, I'm not letting you in because I don't like your gender or your orientation or your religion. You can say, that product doesn't fit with what we're doing.
And that's done on an item-by-item basis, so.
Well, you have to have rules.
Of course.
Because you can't let people guess as they come up, because then you're opening it up to
Which we have.
discrimination. But on this one, it's not an issue at all, because it's just their organization doing it.
Perfect, then let's move on.
So for the Winter
Citizens-
Wonderland, if Scientology says you're a critic of Scientology.
We're gonna move on now, sir.
He's not even part of
We're gonna move
That's a
on.
private event.
Yeah, this isn't the place for that discussion, actually. But thank you. Thank you, ladies. Why don't you stand there in case there's any more questions? Anybody, any other questions? No?
When is the event going to happen?
It's going to be on December the 9th from 5 o'clock to 8:30.
Great.
As our flyer is here, if you want to have one.
Yes.
Please.
Thank you.
And here it says 3:30.
3:30 we will start preparing and setting it up.
Thank you so much.
We'll need some time.
Okay, I'd like to request a motion regarding the Intercultural Advocacy Institute funding request.
Motion to approve the request in the amount of $4,655.75.
Wow, well said. A second? Okay, great. Caitlin made a motion.
Thank you.
Ray seconded. Approved. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, we got to vote. We got to vote. We got to vote. Any more discussion?
Citizen comments.
Citizen comments? Okay. Any board discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
Very good.
All right. We have some old business next, and I believe Amanda's going to give us some background information.
Yes, this is a walk-on item, Amanda Thompson, CRA Director, which we try really hard not to do. But in our attempt to be responsive, we put in front of you a funding request for Lena Teixeira Productions for the recycled art exhibit in downtown. The locations had not been determined yet. The way that we presented it, it was assumed that all the locations would be downtown in the DDB district. That was their condition of we can't have a grant agreement until we know those locations. Once they were identified, 4 of the 10 locations are in the DDB area. Now, all the art pieces will rotate through over 6 months, but there's only 4 out of 10. So we take, when you give us the authority to negotiate agreements, do the sponsorship, sign off on those purchases, take that very seriously. Don't want to take it for granted. So that's why we're back today, because in this case, what it's ended up happening is a little bit different than the way it's presented. I think it's actually resulting in a better project. And what I've outlined for you, and I'll read here, is that what we look to do is just have some enhanced marketing. So I think this is a way to get the Downtown Development Board's name and brand out into the entire Clearwater community, which is something we've been working on, so we get a bigger variety of, grantees and funding requests and people coming to request money. So what we'd like to do for the $6,000 grant is have a separate 8.5 by 11 sign or a bigger or greater size sign indicating sponsorship by the DDB, including the logo and the downtownclearwater.com website, so we can direct people to the funding request forms. A minimum of 2 tours of the art exhibits in downtown that are available to the public by June 1st of next year. A minimum of $300 on social media advertising for the exhibit locations and tours. At least 3 e-newsletters and at least 10 posts on LTP's social media channels or partner social media channels, say the district or Amplify Clearwater, about the exhibit during this time period. So that's a little bit more than what we would typically require. So that's where our thoughts are at, and just wanted some direction and confirmation that you were okay with this before we sign the dotted line.
Also, has Tashiro Productions agreed to these terms?
He's over there.
Of course.
Lena Teixeira, 628 Cleveland Street. Thank you for having me today. First, let me apologize for not being here last time. I was listening to it live as I was crossing Gainesville. I do regret that you could not hear me scream out the answers from Gainesville, but I do want to apologize for not being here, and I do want to explain the circumstances of how this happened. The exhibit was always going to be around the whole city, but the DDB was going to be responsible for downtown. Because the art pieces, and I'm dealing with so many different artists as well as sites, it was logistically a challenge to coordinate 18 entities, right? The artists and the sites. And some of the arts pieces were a challenge to find a site that would accommodate. However, so we ended up with 4 physical sites in downtown, with a soon to be a 5th, which is Nash Keys, which has not been completed, and then surrounding area. And then the artists are all going to be revolving downtown so that all the pieces are going to be there. Now, there has been some updates. One artist did drop out, so that is now going to be 9 instead of 10. It was just too challenging logistically for her. Also, the operational costs, I got really great deals on some of the supplies that I was estimating to add up to $2,000. So that has been significantly reduced, and we will be redirected to the artists. So as you receive the packet of the artists receiving $3,000, now they're going to be receiving $4,000. So I'm redirecting the funds in that direction. We have had the open reception 2 weeks ago, which was attended by Mayor Hibbard and Councilman Beckman, well received. The artists specifically requested that I thank you and the City of Clearwater. It's getting around in the artist community that this is a city that is welcoming and promoting the arts. The pieces are beautiful. The sites are very welcoming and very happy with it. And so they, as well as myself, wanted to thank you for this sponsorship. And if you have any other questions.
When can we see them?
They are now, 8 out of 9 are already in position. The only one that is not is the one on Clearwater Countryside Mall, because they're dealing with Christmas decoration issues. So I'm delivering that piece tomorrow. But all 8 pieces are on their sites. If you look at your packet, the sites are written out. So it's anywhere between Wyndham Grand, Opal Sands, Clearwater High School, the mall, and then various other restaurants and Capitol Theater. And like I said, they will be moving throughout the city.
Nice.
And they all have a plaque with all the sponsors. And I am working on the final draft of the brochure, which will list all the artists, the descriptions, as well as photographs of the pieces and its locations. I do intend to put it in print by the end of this week, and the DDB logo is included front and center.
Are they going to auction them? I forget.
Some are for sale, some are not, and when you see them, you'll understand why some are not, because they're just logistically
Too big.
Very difficult. But I am starting to have a conversation with them on future projects, including using the art pieces perhaps as fundraising for another event that I'm doing for human trafficking. So once the exhibit is over, would they donate that piece for another event? So that's what the talks were talking. So if you have any other questions, I'm willing to answer them now.
I mean, are you looking for a motion or just direction?
I think just confirmation, consensus.
Looks good to me.
Okay, great.
I like
Good
the
repurpose.
expanded.
The more art, the better.
Yeah. And I like the expanded areas that they're going into.
Yeah, the goal was to not just to cover the all different generations, so from high school to the golden age, as my mom would like to call it, golden age, and also the different areas of the city, so that the conversation continues.
I do have a question. If
Yes.
we're repurposing the DDB money and now art is going to be outside of the DDB, do we need to have a sign on it that says something, et cetera?
Yes, and that's what we proposed
That's right there.
on
okay.
there in number one, and that is why we're recommending that there's more spent towards
Okay, I
the
get
marketing and being very explicit about it. And, you know, could we have a billboard? Can we run social media campaigns saying, hey, pay attention to the DDB? Like, are there other ways we could get the word out? Yes, and we will be doing that, but this is an opportunity that
So legally
is in
we're
our
compliant.
hand.
You want to? Thanks, Lena.
Based on the expansion of the locations, I think it would not hurt to actually have discussion and ask for a motion approving the conditions that the CRA would like, that our staff would like to add to
Okay.
the contract. So you're probably going to need to ask for citizen comment.
Sure.
And
Thank you. Any further questions? Citizen comments?
We'll just do a motion. Motion to approve conditions A through D as suggested.
Second.
So a motion by Caitlin and second by Ray for as suggested in this outline entitled Background. Any further discussion?
No, it's very simple.
Okay, anybody want to,
Comments?
all in
Amanda
favor?
likes it, I like it.
Any further comments? All in favor?
Citizen comment?
Aye.
Did you call for citizen comment?
I did,
Comments.
yeah. I was a little bit out of order.
Okay, perfect.
I snuck it in.
In favor.
All good?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thanks, Lena. Thanks, Amanda. 5.2, Howard, the Downtown Clearwater Merchant Association Marketing Grant Update.
Good evening again, Board. Howard Smith, Business Assistant Administrator for the Community Redevelopment Agency. Tonight, Scott Sosa and also Carolyn Brennan was supposed to be here. Due to staffing issues at the restaurants, they're not able to make it. But they did send Sheila Kassler of Catalyst Marketing here to provide you an update on the marketing grant. So with that, I would like to call Sheila up, as well as, I'm not sure if we'll be able to have it play, but there's a short video that she wanted to have you guys preview before she comes up. So let's see if we can get it to play.
We can see it.
Yeah, let me try to.
No?
Where's the video playing?
Let's put on this screen, that
I mean,
screen.
when they promote it,
Yes, right behind you, but, so we don't have the audio.
being promoted on YouTube.
So, then I'll call up Sheila. You're going to come on up. So I'm going to take and pause it since we can't hear it. And I'll forward this to you all. So in the morning, I'll forward this video to you all for review.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila Neisser with Catalyst, a marketing company. The staffing issues are very good because Scott had back-to-back events in Clear Sky, and there's winter training for the Phillies, and Carolyn Bradham is the caterer of choice for them. So the staffing could be extra sales. So that was a sales problem, not a staffing problem. Anyway, thank you so much for the opportunity to present to you. I've got just a summary of what's been going on. First of all, we looked at ongoing infrastructure. One of the things that we wanted to do was be more self-sustainable. So we have launched our own recruiting campaign for members of the retailers and the restaurants that are in the DDB, not necessarily the district. We want to do a lot of outreach to anyone that's in the restaurant business that's serving or in the service industry. So I've got copies for y'all to see exactly what we're doing. Basically, we're running on our results. Right now, I've got this great YouTube video. Our numbers for Facebook are 583% greater than most of the organizations in downtown Clearwater. So I'm very excited about that. So that's one thing that we did. The second thing is we launched Friends of the District. Thank you, Shahib, for joining us. And basically, and thank you, John Jennings, for being one of our speakers, our major speaker. But basically, we invited every homeowner that was in Station Square, Water's Edge, Skyview, and major businesses within a 1 mile radius of our Clearwater footprint, and along with our existing database. So we're looking to get corporate and individual support to fund many of the marketing campaigns, but we're also having, I call it, benefits with friends versus friends with benefits. Basically special events that we're going to host, grand openings, wine tastings, bourbon tastings. Again, bringing a group of people that have financially committed to building our downtown. Other infrastructure things that we are doing, we have recruited Rosemary Windsor. She is the CEO of Jolly Trolley, who is retiring in January. She will be our treasurer. So we're very excited about that because she's got a lot of local corporate roots that I believe will add not only to the credibility of the DDB, but will be an excellent referral source for us to secure corporate donations. As I mentioned, I can give you a dashboard, but our social media is, again, 5.83. Better than most of the groups in downtown Clearwater, and our constant contact continues to trend at 4 times the national average. We have a very engaged group of people that are looking at the district, that are participating in the district, and you're seeing that in revenue numbers. Okay, one of the challenges that you guys gave us was to move beyond the 2 blocks. And so what we've done is made a concerted effort to reach beyond those blocks, specifically the Hispanic Market that you guys approved that's on the 3rd Saturday and Sunday, the same day as the Sip and Stroll. I met with those people and realized that they did not know about Prospera. Prospera is a not-for-profit that provides not only education in Spanish, but also access to funding, so capital funding. So they had a very good meeting together, and there might be some opportunities for these small businesses looking to scale up, a new resource for them. On Monday, I'm meeting with Stephanie Love. Stephanie Love is the only Black wine educator in Tampa Bay. And I met her in Brandon, of all places, and we're working on a during Black History Month, we're looking at a series with Sebastian Isom, who owns Pour Yours, who's an African-American. We're looking at having a complete series. So we're trying to, bring the dots together so that we can be a more inclusive community. We are partnering with the Gateway District. Eleanor Lida, who is one of our wonderful volunteers with the district, is now co-chair of the Gateway, so we're going and meeting with their people to encourage them. One of the groups is DeLucas that opened. It's a Croatian-Italian restaurant, and they're now participating in our Sip and Strolls. We've expanded our relationship with the 12 Days of Christmas. Basically, this was a startup group from people from the beach, Sherry Aguilar and Julie Norberg. We now have a complete 12 Days of Christmas thing that we are marketing cooperatively with the CRA and the DDB, basically cross-promoting events on the beach and downtown and encouraging people to take the Jolly Trolley. During October, we participated with the Island Estates Civic Association. There were over 500 people there at the aquarium. And so again, reaching across the bridge. We had a new meeting today. We had 8 new volunteers. What we're looking at, obviously, I have a lot on my platter. And so having those volunteers taking segments. Ray, we've got someone that's going to be in charge of marketing to Station Square, to the businesses and the residents. So it'd be nice when they call and ask if we can put up a poster. Okay. We are now participating with Market Marie. We have a presence with them. We've done a cooperative relationship with Blair Ballantyne so that we'll be able to promote our stuff to their organization, and they will promote their things. And then I'll send you the turkey toss. What we're trying to do is create some new events that are not just come, eat, drink, and be merry. Let's have more fun. Toward that end, during the holidays, we created this brochure. And what we wanted to do, to be honest with you, is show this, the district, but we wanted to look at all this that's going on during the holidays. We really wanted to shock and awe the community to say, oh my gosh, there is lots of activity going on in our community that our city is supporting and our CRA is supporting and y'all are supporting. So one of the highlights, which Eric, I love, we're having our first ever paw raid. Okay, it's going to be a pet parade, because one of the things I found in looking at the data, it's no longer the family pet. For many people, it's the family. And we want to celebrate that for people that are single or, older couples, that it's, it's their little pet. And, well, I'll show you the poster, but it's really cute. Obviously, we're going to be doing the 12 Days of Christmas and Black History Month. We are looking at, in the spring, a couple of things. We've been contacted by a group of people that, instead of going to Gasparilla, want to come here. So we might have a pirate invasion the last week in January. The first week in February, we're partnering with Parks and Rec to do Blues on the Block. Later in the month, we're looking at a Thai New Year celebration, because basically they have a Chiang Mai festival, but it's the same week as the Blues on the Block. So we're looking at celebrating Chiang Mai with their own. I don't know if you guys saw the Chinese Dragon and the DJ we had earlier this spring, but we're looking at bringing those people back. We will have a ukulele festival with over 500 people strumming up and down the district. The Tampa Bay Ukulele Society has 3,500 members. It's the largest ukulele group in Florida that we know of. And what we know is they also eat and drink, and they are very merry, and they are lots of fun. We had over 295 people come to our last Sip and Stroll, and it was the hit, because they literally went up and down the street playing music. It was very successful. We're looking at also doing something for Small Business Week. In January, we're also starting game night. We found a guy that does electronic games, so we're looking at doing bingo. So whatever restaurant you are at, you can play district bingo. On top of that, we're calling it Complex Jeopardy. We're reaching out to the Station Squares, Water's Edge, Nolan, Apex, and we're pitting those complexes against each other in Jeopardy to see who's the smartest. Right? Your group should be winning. We're also working with DeLuca's to bring Italian lessons. Again, bringing people down for more than just food. When I came to you first time, I talked about the 5 pillars that I wanted to work on: culture, cuisine, commerce, community, and charities, causes. And that was one of the things that we're looking at, is fulfilling that with the programming to do that. I always tell people that this is a grassroots support, and it's been so much grassroots. I got also an article. This was what we launched with the Friends of the District. Here are all of the partnerships, all of the community partnerships we did last year since October to bring people together, because it's a grassroots organization. And I think that's going to be our success. I have added farmer to my resume because I've done so much grassroots. So, and then I also have information about Friends of the District. Finally, this culminates into one amazing thing. And I'm sorry Scott and Carolyn couldn't be here. I feel like the person that's accepting the award for the Academy Awards. They go speak and get off. But this is the Resiliency Award that was given to Amplify. I mean, it was given from Amplify. It was not to one business. There were lots of businesses that applied for this award, and what they basically wanted to honor was the spirit of all the independent business owners that are in downtown Clearwater. We came together, a lot of sweat equity, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but we are so honored that other people in the community honored them. So anyway, we're going to get, when we get a full house, we'll probably get a picture with y'all, because basically y'all were the funding, y'all were the seed money to make this happen.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Sheila.
Any questions?
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was happy to see the tree light, Eric, and it didn't fall over. Well done.
We had 300 people last night.
Wow.
It was awesome, actually. Okay, Equity Committee update. Ms. Caitlin.
So the big two updates I would say would be number one, we've had folks that in the outreach, so COVID, not a whole lot of events we can have in terms of funding equity events or otherwise. But we've had folks who, through the outreach that Rosemary and I had done at that point, have now sought grants, which is very exciting to see that those seeds kind of grow. The second update would be one event we had talked about was this kind of idea of almost like a strategy session called Breaking Bread, which would bring different groups together to kind of really head on address equity in downtown Clearwater. I'm now open to pushing that forward. I don't know if there's other thoughts from you all, but that was kind of my next step in terms of proceeding forward with the equity committee, is trying to go forward and revitalize that, which had been put on the back burner in light of COVID. So that's it.
Any questions? Thanks. The CRA update.
I would like to
5.4.
invite up our new city manager, John Jennings, just to say hello. Or you can yell from the back, either way.
Fellow Hoosiers are always welcome.
Oh, you're a Hoosier?
That's right.
Oh, fantastic. As was mentioned, my name is John Jennings. I'm the new city manager here in Clearwater. It's an honor to really be in this position. I started November 8th, and I think I've aged about 20 years in the last 3+ weeks. It's been nonstop, which is perfect. So part of my background is economic development, the revitalization of downtown in Portland, Maine, which is where I just came from. And so I'm looking forward to working with Amanda, with all of you, with the council, to be able to play my part in the revitalization of the downtown and the entire city. So happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
That was the easiest meeting I've had.
That's how we like it here. Fast and furious. Okay, chairman's report.
Oh, sorry, I just had a few more.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Back to
I'm sorry,
Amanda.
I'll be very quick. December 13th at 8 a.m. is the next CRA meeting, and we'll be doing an annual review. So tune in, 13th, Monday. Or you can watch the replay later. You don't have to watch it live. But if you want to get a good sense of all the things we've been working on, that'll be a good time. The business assistance grants are still available. We'll be doing a deep dive on those, so downtownclearwater.com. So if you have vacant properties, people who have vacant properties that you'd like money to build them out, that's where you can go to find assistance with that. And then the downtown coordination groups will be circling back in January. So everyone wants to enjoy the holidays now. We do too. So we'll get back to that business in January in terms of next steps. And then if there's anything else you think about related to the equity issue, even if, you want to message me and you're like, Amanda, can we have a speaker on, what do we mean when we say equity? Yes, okay, speaker, great. Yes, we will do that because the word means a lot of different things to different people. What does it mean for our context, for where we are? We can certainly bring someone in to talk about that conversation, especially as a funder. This board plays a really powerful role, right? As you've heard, startup funding and seed funding and strengthening, right? So, you have a really important role in providing new opportunities for different voices, right, to really come to the forefront. So, okay, we'll work with Caitlin and we'll get something organized for that. Other than that, thank you so much for another year of your volunteer service. We know you're not paid anything to do this, so we really appreciate it and have enjoyed working with you.
Thanks. I have a question. If maybe just to make it super clear, if something's not on an upcoming agenda, if people are out there watching and they want to put something on the agenda, an item?
Sure.
What's
So,
the best way or easiest way for somebody to do that?
to email Howard Smith. howard.smith@myclearwater.com.
Sorry,
So-
Howard.
It's all right. And if it is at least 10 days before the meeting, right, and it's something that you guys would be making a decision on or discussion item, then it'll be put on the agenda. If it is after that point in time, then it is up to the chair to decide whether or not to add that onto the agenda. If you have just generally something you'd like to talk about related to the Downtown Development Board, we would encourage you to come under citizens to be heard. You have your 3 minutes. If you have something longer, report, research, or funding request, something like that, then we'll help you put it in the right place on the agenda.
For next year.
Yes, this year's done.
Excellent, thanks. Okay, Chairman's report. I'll be brief, even though there's 2 pages here. You can go to downtownclearwater.com/holidays, and there's a whole list of things, probably to supplement everything Sheila was just talking about. The holiday voucher campaign is on there. The Thursday night holiday movie series is on there at the Capitol Theater, and it looks like it's free. Who knew? Movie matinee and breakfast with Santa, 18th and 19th. Ray, don't forget your chair. The 12 Days of Christmas. The Market Elaine Holiday Market is on the 16th, all coming up here. Clearwater Holiday Pet Paw, which we've already discussed. So looks like there's a whole bunch of stuff happening this month. And also, lastly, the America's Everglades. I don't know if you're watching and you haven't been to the library. It's Clyde Butcher, right? Butcher. Famous photographer from Florida. And his artwork's all around the library here. So check it out if you haven't seen that. So happy holidays, everybody. And now board members to be heard, starting with Ray.
I was at Station Square last night, and we actually had a board meeting. I'm on the board there. And then someone said, they're lighting the tree. So we took a break from the board meeting with all these people there and some on Zoom, and we walked out to the pool, which overlooks the park. It was wonderful. There's a lot of people there. The tree was beautiful, and we watched the lighting of the tree, and it gave me the Christmas spirit.
Nice.
Well, first of all, I'd love to we're having a new city manager. Hopefully we get to work with you more, as you promised, so we'll probably come to you for more things for coordinate with that. I think we're ending the year, and I don't think we could have accomplished much with that CRA team, your team, Amanda. It's been an interesting year, let's put it that way. And the rest of the members, hopefully, unfortunately, a couple are missing. You guys have been wonderful. Been great to work with you. As mentioned, with such a high pay we get, it was just a pleasure to come interact with you guys. And happy holidays to you all, anyone who's watching.
Wonderful.
I just want to say it's been a pleasure being part of the committee this year. I've learned a lot from all of you, and it's been a pleasure working with the CRA, Howard and Amanda, Elise. All of you have been wonderful to work with, and I look forward to another, and of course the board as well, and I look forward to another spectacular year here. Welcome to the new city manager. It's exciting to see what's happening here. I moved here 6 years ago. And from then until now, what's happening is very exciting. So thank you all, and I wish you all happy holidays.
Just thank you to our CRA team. Truly, you guys make this a much smoother process than it otherwise would be for our legal team, Sheila. So thank you to everyone. Happy holidays.
And Elise.
Is it our legal team?
I
Specific. I can hear me real loud.
It's the
very loud in my ears.
Echo chamber.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say the attendance last night for the tree lighting was terrific. It was great to see a huge packed house there for it. And I'm really encouraged by the success that we've been having in the 400 and 500 block and all the great work of the district. I think it's paying off. And I just wanted to say, happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everybody. And that's it.
Happy holidays. Meeting adjourned.